Hey everyone! It's been a whole month since I sat down and started working full-time on Project Feel the Vibe. Now, it's time for a sprint review. The goal for this sprint was to flesh out melee combat with a single music genre and create a basic heads-up display. I decided to focus on the main stance that's crucial to gameplay, the chill mood. The chill mood is essential as it's the driving force behind managing your energy. While designing the moveset for the chill mood, I decided to have the attacks mainly be kicks to convey the idea of a chill vibe and minimal effort. Like, I don't even need to use my hands to deal with you. I worked in Blender to black out the animations and get a feel for how he would attack. While figuring things out, I found it best to keep his hands in his pockets as he attacks. Not only because I didn't know what else to do with his hands,
Stop the cap.
but also because it fits the vibe. So, I've created a basic 3-hit combo as a series of kicks with his hands in his pockets. Keep in mind that these are some of the first animations I've created. I hope to refine them to flow more smoothly in the future. Next up on the list is the UI. For the UI in Project Feel the Vibe, I've had an idea of what I wanted it to look like. I haven't tried my hand at creating wireframes and mockups, but I did use Google Drawings to help visualize my concept while developing the idea for the project. After conducting some research and observing how professionals or others approach this, I discovered a website called Figma, which is quite intuitive and offers numerous options for creativity. Not a sponsor. With a little more practice, I think I'll be able to get the hang of it and come up with something that looks more visually appealing. However, for now, it's definitely going to be an iterative process with the UI. Some elements might be added later, and I'm not sure how it's going to feel until I create specific systems, such as systems for switching music or a system for mission objectives. The elements I currently have are a placeholder health bar, a placeholder mission objective UI, the energy bar, and the stance indicator. The most important of these is the energy bar. I want to keep it along the lines of music, so the very first image I had in my mind was kind of an audio visualizer that drains as you use energy, and it drains from top to bottom, starting from the right and draining to the left. That's the original idea, but while working, I also came up with the idea to have the visualizer be an actual audio visualizer GIF that drains from right to left with the opacity lowered as energy drains. The stance indicator for now is simply text that indicates which stance you're in. All of this information will be viewable on a futuristic tablet that Milo uses, which holds all of his vital information including his energy level, current mood, and of course, the current song playing, which I intend to be a track of music the player can choose from as if they were listening to their favorite playlist. For the health bar, I feel that most action games typically place it in the top left corner and equipment information in the bottom right or bottom left. However, I wasn't too fond of the health bar being up there. Out of the options that I considered, I believe it would be better to keep all of the information together so the player can see everything at a glance. Therefore, I opted to place the health bar directly above the energy and stance indicator. I'm having trouble determining which style looks better, so if you have any opinions, let me know down in the comments. Aside from the sprint goal, which again was to flesh out melee combat with a single music genre and create a basic heads-up display, I added a couple of mini tasks to help with testing features. After creating my 3-hit combo, it felt a little awkward while attacking because I had to line myself up to attack the target dummy. Now, when the player is in range of the target dummy, they will automatically face it. I also added a slight force so the character moves towards the dummy when attacking. I already had a target dummy in the scene, but it was only designed to respawn one at a time, and in order to test the soft lock system, I needed multiple dummies to spawn simultaneously. So I updated my respawn system to allow multiple dummies to be present in the scene and respawn accordingly. Depending on which enemy is closer, the character will look and attack in that direction. After I finished those tasks, I felt like the model I was using was just throwing me off. Even though it is just a placeholder, and if I really wanted to, I could just use the default Y-bot and worry about making Milo later, I really got tunnel visioned on this. I decided I would try to fix Milo now instead of pushing it back, which might help me in the future when creating animations and envisioning things more clearly. So what are the issues with this current model?
That boy ain't right.
Well, at some point I must have messed up somewhere because just look at this. He's got vertices poking out everywhere, and it's not as simple as just moving them back to the right spot. I tried. Not to mention that while this technically is Milo, it isn't his style, nor is it his vibe. So if you haven't already seen my video about switching projects, Milo is the result of my attempt to create my other character from another project. His name is Cole, and his story is that he had to survive being different and alone from a young age and had no other option but to adapt and survive. His outfit is supposed to symbolize his makeshift style. He wears a bulletproof vest and a pistol that he borrowed from his former job as a security guard, and he uses a cloak because it enhances his ability to utilize his shadow as a weapon. That's what defines that character. So, who is Milo? Milo is a student who is about to graduate from high school and is recruited because of his magical aptitude in a world where magic exists but is not common knowledge. He's a part of a secret organization that's like the police but handles magic criminals and magical monsters. This organization is backed by the government, so he outranks a regular police officer, and his outfit is supposed to reflect that. He's also kind of an investigator, so I wanted to add a trench coat like a detective. I think if anything, the character model is okay, but the main issue I have is with his outfit. That, and the fact that I had, and still have, no idea what I'm doing, so I retraced my steps and started from a previous save of my character model. For the remainder of the sprint, I attempted to create something cleaner with improved topology. Topology refers to the layout and arrangement of the vertices, edges, and faces that define the shape of a 3D model. Good topology creates an organized, clean mesh that flows with the model's form, which is essential for smooth deformation during animation, proper lighting and shading, and efficient editing. I had a whole week to work on this, and I didn't get it finished. I was having a bunch of trouble figuring things out with Blender, and I learned the hard way that it might be time to upgrade my PC, because Blender was not having it. On top of that, I've been streaming my journey, so having my streaming software, Unity, and a bunch of Chrome tabs open was a recipe for disaster. With this task unfinished, I will endeavor to continue it at the beginning of Sprint 3 and hope it doesn't detract from everything else that needs to be done. With all that being said, let's go over what went right for this sprint. Just as in previous sprints, I put my nose to the grindstone and worked every day to get the work done. I realized that I didn't need to animate my actual character model, so I used a placeholder and transferred my animations through a humanoid rig. This made animating a lot easier. I learned some great new tools to utilize in the future, and I thought implementing the UI for the energy would be harder, but I managed to get it to drain exactly how I wanted. Now, what went wrong for this sprint? I'd say my focus this sprint could have been far better. While I am happy with the results of my new character model so far, I could have achieved a lot more if I hadn't taken the whole week to focus on it. The focus was supposed to be on the chill mood, and the only thing I did was add a 3-hit combo. I should have changed the walk, run, and jump animations. I could have even tried to expand on the combat system, since at the end of the 3-hit combo, it's supposed to knock the enemy up into the air for future air combos. Secondly, Blender kept giving me issues, and it's definitely due to my limited understanding and knowledge of the software. Additionally, I ended up following 2 different courses, but they weren't for regular human characters, which made it more challenging for me.
What are those?
Currently, I'm following the same course I used to make Milo, but it doesn't teach me about creating clothes for humans. While I'm trying to apply the techniques and concepts, my issues are sometimes far too different, so I have to troubleshoot on my own. The proper move should be to worry about Milo later during the polish portion of the project and work on the functionality of the combat and the stances. So if you're following along, don't do what I'm doing. It's not efficient. I'm just being a bit difficult. For the next sprint, I should have Milo done, and once I finish my character model, I'll be focusing on the next sprint goal, which is to add ranged combat and flesh out the hype stance, as well as polish mood transitions with the goal of not getting sidetracked and focus on the systems rather than polish. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments what you think about the HUD layout. Should the health bar stay grouped with energy, or live in the top corner like most action games?